So question number 3, discuss any 4 differences between first and second generation of programming languages. So let's start looking at the difference in terms of the level of abstraction. So the first generation computer, the first generation computer language used a language known as machine language. Machine language is a low level language. It directly corresponds to hardware binary instruction. Binary simply means 1, 0, and 1. So the programmers who are writing this first generation language, programming language, are to write codes using binary digits 0 and 1. This will represent specific machine operations and maybe memory addresses. So remember, if you have to use 0 and 1, at least it requires some deep understanding of the hardware architecture. So that is the level of abstraction for the first generation computer. So for the second generation computer, which was using a language known as assembly language, this one at least was used when there was an introduction of symbolic representation of machine instruction. For example, they could use mnemonic codes, for example, add, subtract. Those are codes that were now symbolically used. So instead of using binary numbers, 0 and 1, they were using mnemonic. And now these symbolic names for also memory addresses. So this programming language is more readable and easier to manage compared to the raw binary code that was used in the first generation programming language. Again, according to ease of programming, as we have seen, the first generation programming language, where there was only use of codes and binary digits 0 and 1, these programs were extremely complex and prone to error. You could easily make an error, and just a single mistake could result in an unfunctional program. And now debugging such a program will become quite not easy. Well, if you compare that to the second generation computer, which use assembly language, at least there was an improved programmer productivity compared to the one that we're using binary codes. So though it was still close to hardware, this assembly language was at least human readable, because we said it uses mnemonic instructions. And also, according now to portability and hardware dependency, the first generation computer, or the machine language program, was tightly coupled with the hardware architecture, as we just saw. So program written for one type of computer could not run on another computer significantly. Why? Because it was hardware dependent. It was dependent on a particular computer architecture. While now the second generation, the assembly language, introduced a degree of portability. Though it was still tied to hardware, a program written in this assembly language could be adapted to different machines relatively easily. And lastly, let's look at efficiency and performance. So the machine language program were highly efficient in terms of execution speed. Though they were complex, they could use relatively small amount of memory because they were directly mapped into hardware instructions. But the only disadvantage is that they required a very deep understanding of the hardware. If you compare that to the assembly language, it was somehow efficient. It was very efficient because it was an improved version of the machine language. But again, it was still having some difficulties that had to be tackled. For example, on mnemonics. So the B part of that was saying discuss 3 basic types of information systems. So we know we have 3 types of information systems. We have what we call transaction processing system management. So let's start with transaction processing systems. So transaction processing systems are just the basic foundational organizational information system. They are majorly designed to get information from raw sources, process it, and store this transactional data day by day. So this transaction processing system handle what we call routine transactions, things that are done daily. within an organization, such as sales, purchases, inventory updates, and even financial transactions. So those are daily routines. They are handled by these transaction processing systems, and these transaction processing systems are able to get this information from raw data, from raw facts, and input it for processing to get the output. Then the next one, we have management information system, or what we call MIS. So what is management information system? So once data has been captured by the TPS, the transaction processing system, the managers will need to make their decision based on the input of TPS. So these decisions that the managers make are based on the summarized data, structured and predefined reports that were obtained from the TPS to support their operations and technical decisions. So management information system use data from transaction processing system that we said get the data from routine transactions. Then lastly, we have decision support system, or DSS. So now DSS are designed to support decision making process by managers and high level management like executives. So they provide other interactive tools and analytical capabilities so that the management are able to analyze, they are able to simulate and use various ways to view trends and even other things based on the data that is obtained from the management information system. So the decision support system simply helps users to analyze these complex situations and make informed decisions based on different scenarios, as we saw there. So that's the difference between DSS, MIS, and TPS. And then the C part says, describe the challenges that organizations can face when implementing information system. So when you are implementing an information system within an organization, there could be challenges. For example, the cost and budget overruns. Sometimes when you are implementing information system, especially when the information systems are very large and very complex, sometimes there might be what we call budget overrun, because there could be some unexpected expenses that come up related to the software, maybe licensing, maybe some hardware need to be upgraded, maybe there are some employees that need to be trained extensively, maybe there are some consultation that has to be made, and even maintenance. So this will interfere with the cost, the estimated cost that was allocated for this information system. Again, there is what we call resistance to change. The systems are made to be used by the employees. So the employees sometimes, because of they were used to the other systems that need to be changed, they may resist adopting this new information system. Why? Because they are concerned about maybe their roles. Now, with the new system, their roles could change. So they could resist job role changing. They could fear technology. Maybe some of them are technophobic. Or they might have a perception that the new system will increase the workload. So this resistance sometimes will be difficult for organization to overcome. So overcoming such resistance will require effective change management strategies. You must communicate well, and also they need to be trained well so that they get to know well about the benefits of these systems that are coming in. Again, we have data quality and integration. So sometimes the system that comes along will come, but the quality is not guaranteed. So poor data quality or inconsistencies, sometimes even lack of integration between different parts, will make even this information system very ineffective. And when you need to migrate from the older system to the new system, sometimes you find out that there's no more benefit, or there's least benefit that is gained from this new system because of the quality. Then lastly, we talk about customization and standardization. There's no standard for systems that can be used to compare, to check whether this system has reached some specific standard or not. So as long as the system is made and it's implemented, that is it. Then the other question says, list 2 internet service providers in your country and discuss the criteria that would be used to decide the appropriate one. So in our country, Kenya, our our ISPs, one is Safaricom. That's our internet provider. It's one of the largest and most established ISP in Kenya. Then we have Zuku. Zuku is also another one. It also offers coverage in various parts of Kenya, maybe mostly is found in urban centers. So the criteria that will be used to decide which ISP is best for you. One, you could consider network coverage and availability. How wide or how available is this network? You could also consider connection or connection type, and even the speed, data speed. That is very essential. Or pricing and packages. How are you paying for the data? Reliability and performance. And if you like, you can also consider customer support. So all these are factors to consider when you are just about to get or subscribe to an ISP.